As of today, I, as Prime Minister in Council, that is to say, as Chairman of the National Security Council, acting on the advice of the security forces, have officially declared a zone of special security and community development operations under the Law Reform Zones of Special Operations, Special Security and Community Development Measures Act 2017. The Law Reform Zones of Special Operations, Special Security and Community Development Measures Greenwich Town Zone Order 2020 has been gazetted. This law, under which the zones are declared, was created for upholding and preserving the rule of law, public order, citizen security, and public safety within certain geographically defined areas of Jamaica. This law allows for a coherent strategy utilizing interministerial and interagency coordination towards social intervention with the aim that the people gain confidence in the security forces and trust the justice system so that the new culture of the community is self-sustaining and permanent.
Earlier this morning, the Jamaica Defense Force and the Jamaica Constabulary Force deployed to sections of the community to begin preparation for this declaration. And we're operating along the following boundaries. To the west, beginning at the intersection of Marcus Garvey Drive and 3rd Avenue, the boundary extends in a northeasterly direction along 3rd Avenue and then southeasterly along the train line, continuing northeasterly parallel to West Avenue, then to the east of Greenwich All Age School to Spanish Town Road. To the north, it continues southeasterly along Spanish Town Road to the shared parish boundaries of Kingston and St. Andrew in the vicinity of the intersection of Spanish Town Road and Maxfield Avenue. To the east, it continues from the vicinity of the intersection of Spanish Town Road and Maxfield Avenue in a southwesterly direction along the shared parish boundary of Kingston and St. Andrew down to Marcus Garvey Drive. And to the south, the boundary extends from the intersection of the shared parish boundary I mentioned before and Marcus Garvey Drive in a northwesterly direction along Marcus Garvey Drive to the starting point at the intersection with 3rd Avenue. As you have heard outlined, the ZOSO is a part of the overall plan for the security of Jamaica. We have a plan that has short, medium, and long-term components, and the ZOSO is a part of the long-term component. If I may remind you, the short-term plan is to use measures like the state of emergency, the Emergency Powers Act, to allow the Jamaica Defense Force to support the Jamaica Constabulary Force in cauterizing the high levels of violent crime. In the medium term, we seek to build out the national security apparatus to be better able to handle the increasing levels of violence. But in the long term, which is the real sustainable plan, we want to change the culture of violence in Jamaica. And we want to ensure that the communities that tends to breed violent youngsters are enabled to function as normal communities. The ZOSO is a component of that long-term plan. We want to assure citizens that all members of the Jamaica Defense Force and Jamaica Constabulary Force who are working in the zone have been properly trained and certified to do so, giving due regard to the protection of basic human and citizens' rights, as well as the unique requirements of the ZOSO legislation. We urge you to acquaint yourselves with these regulations and requirements in order to easily and conveniently transit the area as you go about your lawful business. We ask you to comply with the instructions of the security forces as we strive to remove the criminal elements from the area.
An analysis of the situation in the Greenwich Town area has revealed that the community continues to be characterized by increased gang-related violence and criminal activities as the gangs compete for area dominance, and overall, the intervention in the space will be geared at the urgent need to save lives and setting the conditions for and the delivery of effective social interventions to reduce social vulnerability to violence and crime.
We've seen within the first 6 months of this year that this violence has continued and gone up. We've had 7 murders, of which 2 are double murders, and 8 shootings over that period. And so even though we moved assets into the area of Greenwich town under the state of public emergency, and even though overall in St. Andrews South, the level of violence has reduced and we're now, some way below last year, we recognize that to get long-term change in the area, we've had to look at some long-term strategies.
It is important that we continue to build on the success of the use of the Zozos and ensure that the experience of peace, protection of the state, and safety from gang violence become the reality of the Greenwich Town community, as was largely the experience in the Mount Salem and Denham Town Zozos.
We have seen the effect in Mount Salem, where since its imposition in 2017, significant community development has taken place, and they have not had a murder over the past 3 years. Denham Town, it has not been murder-free, but it has significantly reduced from what it was before. There's certainly a 30% decrease in murders in Denham Town and a 66% decrease in shootings in that space. And again, there are significant social intervention that has taken place there.
This government continues to place greater focus on citizen security through the implementation of the clear, hold, build approach. This commitment has led to the development of a national plan for citizen security, which will be utilized as an important supporting framework for citizen security programming to deliver an appropriate and sustainable mix of responsive, protective, and preventative interventions. The government of Jamaica will therefore continue to leverage this approach as a platform for developing and refining practices that promise enduring positive results in improving citizen security through the social and physical transformation of vulnerable communities.